This could be the end of Alabama football. I'm just playing. This video is not even that serious. I think we can all agree that Alabama's been in the news cycle these past couple of weeks, with the surprise retiring of not only Alabama's greatest coach, but college football's greatest coach in Nick Saban, and then the immediate hire of Washington's head coach Kalen Deboer. There's been a lot of moving pieces going around Alabama. On top of that, Alabama lost a ton of talent to the transfer portal once Nick Saban retired, losing guys like 5-star wide receiver Isaiah Bond to Texas, 5-star offensive tackle Caden Proctor to Iowa, 5-star safety Caleb Downs to Ohio State, and 5-star quarterback Julian Sain to Ohio State. And that doesn't even begin to scratch the surface of how much talent Alabama seriously lost this offseason. But not all hope is lost. The Tide are still bringing in the second best recruiting class in the class of 2024, bringing in guys like 4-star edge rusher Noah Carter, 5-star safety Xavier Mincy, 5-star corner Xavier Brown, and 5-star corner Jalen Mbakwe. They also have a hard commit from the 8th best player in the country in Ryan Williams, and on National Signing Day, he is going to be making his college decision, and everybody's expecting it to be Alabama. On top of that, Alabama's bringing in a ton of talent from the transfer portal themselves, bringing in guys like 4-star transfer defensive lineman LT Overton from Texas A&M, 4-star transfer corner Damani Jackson from USC, 4-star transfer quarterback Austin Mack from Washington, 4-star interior offensive lineman Parker Brailsford from Washington, and 4-star transfer wide receiver Jeremy Bernard from Washington. Overall, Kalen Deboer sounds like he has stepped into that Alabama head coaching role, and the people that stuck around speak nothing but high praises for him. But you know what they say, talk is cheap, and he needs to win games, and he needs to win them fast. The only problem? Alabama has a really tough schedule next year. Taking a look at Alabama's 2024 schedule, they start the first 3 weeks of the season off on, like most Alabama seasons, a pretty easy going of games. They play Western Kentucky at home, USF at home, and then they go to Wisconsin. Overall, I think we can all agree that's 3-0 for the Crimson Tide. They then have a bye week on September 21st, but then they come immediately off that bye week to play Georgia. Now, I will say, if you're going to play Georgia, the best time to play Georgia is early on in the season, because if you do lose to them, you have the whole rest of the season to catch up in the rankings. And on top of that, you're playing Georgia at home. So if you're for Kalen Deboer's first time in the SEC to have to play Georgia at home early in the season, coming off of a bye, honestly, that's extremely favorable for him. Alabama will then come off of that game versus Georgia to then play Vanderbilt at Vanderbilt, and then to play South Carolina at home. I think we can all agree that those are two pretty easy wins. Not a whole lot to be worried about there. But then Alabama runs into the major gauntlet of their season. From the middle of October to the beginning of November, Alabama goes on their toughest stretch of games, playing Tennessee at Tennessee, Missouri at home, having a bye week, and then playing LSU in Baton Rouge. To only have one home game in that 3-game stretch is going to be tough, specifically with that LSU game and with that Tennessee game. Both of those college stadiums, they get rocking and they get loud. That could very easily be 2 losses just right there. Alabama then plays Mercer, we can all skip that. And then they play Oklahoma at Oklahoma. Again, you're playing one of your ranked opponents at their place. That's the last thing that you want, is for your ranked opponents to be at their place. You want to play all of your unranked teams. You want to go to their place and go beat them up at their house. You don't want to have to go to these ranked teams' houses, especially when they want to tear you down, and especially after you beat up on all of them over this whole Nick Saban era. They're going to want to exact their revenge right now. Alabama then finishes off their season versus their rival Auburn Tigers at home. So when you look at their 2024 season, Western Kentucky, that's a win, 1-0. USF, another win, 2-0. Wisconsin, that's another win, 3-0. Bye week, Georgia, I think that we can all safely say that's probably going to be a loss, 3-1. Vanderbilt, South Carolina, back-to-back wins, that's 5-1. Tennessee, that's going to be a tough one. I'm going to give Alabama the benefit of the doubt, and I'm going to say that they come out with this win. So that is going to be 6-1. Missouri, I think that might be another win. I think that's going to be 7-1. I think that this LSU game at LSU is going to be a loss. That is 7-2. Mercer, that's a win, 7-2 or 8-2. I think the Oklahoma game, I think that could be another game where they end up slipping up. I think that's going to be 8-3, finishing off the season with a win versus Auburn. I think it's very realistic for Alabama to go 9-3 this season. I would say that 9-3 should be the threshold that everybody determines how good of a coach that Kalen Deboer is, because I think going up against all these ranked opponents, it's not like he played at some weak school. The Pac-12 was absolutely stacked last season. He knows what it's like to have to go up against multiple ranked opponents in back-to-back weeks. We saw how well he played versus Oregon twice in the same season. I think that Kalen Deboer has the coaching ability to be able to do what he needs to do. I just think that the SEC is a different animal. I'm excited to see what he's able to do, but I do think that 9-3, anything less than that, put Kalen Deboer to the fire. Anything above that, even if it means missing the college football playoffs, I think that that is still a very successful season for Alabama. I want to hear from all y'all. Comment your thoughts down below. All my Alabama Crimson Tide fans. First and foremost, what are your guys' thoughts on Kalen Deboer? So far for me, just being an outsider looking in, I've actually really loved what Kalen Deboer has done. He stepped in there and had every single person questioning everything that he was doing. Oh, there's so many players leaving. Oh, he's losing recruits. Oh, this, oh, that. He just said, hey, I'm going to be doing my thing. I'm bringing in my coaching staff. I'm bringing in my culture. Everything that I've heard from recruits say to current players say that, hey, Kalen Deboer is exactly what you're getting on the mic. He's a great coach. He does what he needs to do. I love hearing that. I love the fact that it seems like he's really stepped into his role at Alabama. He's not trying to become the next Nick Saban. He's not trying to fill his shoes. He's just Kalen Deboer at Alabama. I love to hear that. I also want to hear, this is not the easiest schedule. I want to hear from y'all. What do you guys think of this schedule? And do you guys think that 9-3 is the barometer for where everybody should be judging Kalen Deboer? I personally think that that is very fair. I think that losing 3 games versus 3 quality opponents, most of which are going to be away, I think that that is that's a very fair assessment of Alabama season. I'm not being too harsh. I'm not being too optimistic. I think overall it's pretty fair, but I want to hear from all y'all. Comment your thoughts down below. Don't forget to also leave this video a like and hit that subscribe button. We are on the road to 260,000 subscribers. You could be the 260,000 subscribers, so hit that subscribe button, turn on your notifications. We're dropping videos each and every single day. I love and appreciate each and every single last one of y'all. Hey, all my Alabama fans, nobody has told you this today, but I'm speaking specifically to you. Know that I love and appreciate you, but you know who loves and appreciates you more? Jesus Christ. I know, kind of a quick little switch around, but it's just very important to always make sure to remind everybody that whether you believe in Jesus, whether you don't, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. Jesus Christ loves you more than you will ever be able to understand. He's been with you through the highs and lows of your life. He knows every turn that your life is going to take. And all he's trying to do is just help steer you in the path that his will and that his plan is for your life. And it's such a beautiful thing when you just allow God to have that free will in your life to steer you in those right directions. Because we can all agree, when we try and do things, sometimes we just mess it up. And sometimes we don't know what we're doing. We love to act and try like we do. A lot of time we don't. Jesus, all he wants to do is just show us a better way and just take that burden off of our plate. We already have enough on our plate. All he's trying to do is just take that burden off of our plate and just shower us in love. Always remember that. And don't ever feel bad for talking to Jesus either. Don't ever be like, I've never talked to him or I've said bad things about him. He's already forgiven you. He died on the cross. That's the reason why he died on the cross. It's a beautiful thing. Love and appreciate all y'all. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Ciao.